Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Do you know how to get what you want in this world? One of the ways that we get what we want is by being assertive. That doesn't mean being demanding or being a dick. It means simply standing up for yourself, asking for things when you need them, speaking up, and not waiting too long to do it. Speak up in the moment. Make decisive decisions. Know what you want. Spend some time getting to know yourself if you don't know what you want. Learn what you like and what you don't like. From everything from food choices to behaviors. Start cultivating self-respect. Somebody with a high sense of self-respect it's easier for them to be assertive, to stand up and say, excuse me, I don't like that. To be able to make a decision, this is what we're going to do. I have a choice of A, B, C. We're going to choose B. What comes along with self-respect is self-confidence, and when you have self-confidence, you can realize that I can survive. And when you have a really strong sense of survival, of confidence with your survival, you realize that bad mistakes happen, nobody's perfect, and that even if I make a bad mistake in life, I can recover, I can redirect, I can regain my footing, I can pick myself up, brush myself off, I can get right back on course, I can do all of those things easily. Survival skills, somebody who has strong survival skills learns that. Somebody who doesn't thinks that every problem, every obstacle is the end of the world. These drama queens. They have poor coping skills, poor navigational skills. Nothing worse sometimes than somebody who's indecisive. I mean, it's just annoying. For those of us, I don't know if you're a decisive person. I'm very decisive. I know what I want. I don't sit confused about simple choices in life. And even the big ones. You give me a big life-changing decision, I can make that. I'm good at that. I'm good at making life-changing decisions. I've done that before. I know what it's like to make a mistake. I know what it's like to recover from it. Oftentimes, it's just our own perception in those scenarios when we want to question a choice. You know, I had this happen with me. I was sitting out in Los Angeles, depressed, kind of not happy with my projection in life, not really feeling like I had a lot of opportunity, feeling hopeless. That's a tough one, man. You got to have hope. So I hatched a plan to move to the East Coast. I had already started my motorcycle shop, and I figured, this is getting tough here in an expensive city. Just renting a warehouse in Los Angeles can be $10,000 a month. You know how much it costs here in Florida? $500 a month. And I can sell a bike for the same price as I can out in LA. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna make the choice. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna move 3,000 miles away to a state that I don't know anybody. I'm all about the West Coast. I got West Coast tattooed on my hand. My family's from out there. Those are the streets that made me feel comfortable out there. And here I was going to choose to give up everything that I knew. A culture, a landscape. The East Coast and the West Coast of America might as well be two different countries. Two different nations. The only thing that's the same is the money, but the value of the money is different. This is a big transition. Some people wouldn't be able to make a choice like that, to take that kind of risk. I knew firmly in my head that I had to make a change, and I gave myself some options. Each would have been viable. I'm not saying that moving to Florida was the only option. Many times that we pick A, B, or C, all three could be great options. So sometimes you just have to pick one. I moved to Florida, set myself up, accomplished my goal. I set out a goal, I had a clear vision of what I was going to do. I took each step necessary to accomplish it, and I did it. And I got here. And I was successful here. I am successful here. But 4 years into the move, in the first 4 years of moving here, oh man, I started to second guess my decision. That's the worst thing. It's the worst thing. I started to think, man, if I should have stayed in LA. I started to really beat myself up. I'm getting in magazines. This was 2005. I was getting in a couple magazines a year. I was successful here in Florida. More successful here than I would have been out there, but it's part of me. That weak part of me that was just still kind of attached to a comfort zone kept saying, that was a bad choice. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done it. It was a negative, kind of weak narrative that started to infect me. I wasn't so good back then at taking control of my self-talk. I would just let that shit go. I didn't even really realize that I could control it, that I was the master. You think what I want you to think. You don't speak until I fucking tell you to. You can run your fucking brain however you want. I felt so bad. It endured. I kind of slipped into a depression. My life wouldn't reflect a depression. You could shake me and say, Sky, you're accomplishing your dream. Snap out of this. This is what you wanted. This was your idea and you're doing it. Be happy. And I'd walk around just like, oh, I miss California. That was the dumbest thing I ever did. I was just indecisive. I wasn't ready. A part of me wasn't ready. There was a weak part of me. That weak part of you can often hold you back. It's not ready for success. It's not ready for greatness. It doesn't want to go out of the comfort zone in order to find it. It just wants to stand there on the shore and dreaming about what's on the other side. But it doesn't want to take that perilous journey to get there. People can be paralyzed in fear, desperately wishing for a goal. I knew this chick, I dated her for a while. She was very indecisive. It was kind of an annoying cuteness. We can work around it, but I know that's an aspect of who you are. Sometimes it would get annoying though. She would never be able to decide what she wanted to eat. We lived together at the time. We were having meals together. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to run the program. I don't need to be dominant. We can make mutual choices. We can both choose what we want to eat. We can make it together. You know, I feel like a parent if I'm choosing what we're having for dinner every night. So it was very hard for me to even get her once a week for her to choose. She would rather me choose. She didn't want to have that choice. She willingly gave up her choice. I would say just anything. I don't care what kind of food it is. You want to go out? We'll go out. Any restaurant. Name the restaurant. I don't care. Just anything. Expensive, cheap, doesn't matter to me. I'll pay for it. Just choose any place. But you got to choose because it's dinner time and I'm hungry. You want to make dinner here? I got a fridge full of food. We'll make up something. Name it. I got all kinds of shit. Just name it. What do you want? She wouldn't know. To try to badger her or force her to make that choice, she could probably break down and cry. It was that hard for her to do. Can't even choose what she wants to eat. I remember one time we were talking just about our lives. And she was saying how frustrated she was sometimes that she felt out of control with her life. She felt like she didn't really get the respect that she wanted from others. She wasn't taken seriously by others. She felt like people didn't listen to her. And she just kind of felt like that life was just happening to her. And it was weakening her. Like erosion on a rock in a creek, just slowly from getting beaten by that stream, by that fast rushing water over time. It wears down, and she just kind of felt like that with life. And it's like, man, you're young and you're burning out quick. What's going on here? And it all stems back to just being indecisive. She couldn't make a decisive decision. She couldn't just settle on, what do I want? What do I want to eat? What do I want out of life? What kind of people do I want to be around? What kind of behavior will I tolerate? Will I tolerate that even if it's a loved one, even if it's my parents? Can I finally put my foot down and say, I don't tolerate that type of behavior? Nobody treats me that way. That's self-respect. That's knowing what you want and knowing what you'll take. She was a pushover. You could call her up at 4 a.m. and ask her for a ride, and she's a good person, and she would give it to you, even if she desperately didn't want to. I would tell her, it's okay. You're allowed to have a life of your own. You're allowed to have needs and boundaries. If you don't want to help that person, you're allowed to say, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I can't. And she would overextend herself with helping people and then feel like nobody was treating her right. Often we're our own worst enemies. We dig our own graves. We create our own problems. And people don't like to hear that. I know I don't, because I'm perfect and I have no problems. And anything that's ever been wrong is something that's happened to me, external, right? We're in charge of our own outlook. We're in charge of the dialogue in our head. We're creating all of this through a little screen inside our goddamn head. Look into how optics work. It's actually really fascinating about how images go into your brain and get reflected out. Being more assertive, learning what you like and what you don't like, and creating boundaries for yourself. Being more decisive so you can make rapid decisions. These are all things that are going to help you feel more free, feel more in control of your life, feel more successful, feel like you have more wins. Each day you'll be able to clock in the wins. It feels great to get what you want. We all want to get what we want. I wanted a steak and cheese yesterday and I got one. Win. These little things add up. Imagine never getting what you want. Or not being able to make a clear decision and letting life steamroll over you. Feeling powerless. I'm all about inner strength. Being assertive is an aspect of inner strength. Don't be afraid to be assertive. If your food isn't right at the fucking restaurant, send it back. If somebody says something that you don't like, say, hey, I don't like that. Shut up. It's all food for thought. Thanks for watching.